Superman actor Dean Cain has been doing a lot of press recently, not for a new movie, but because he has now been recruited by ICE to deport illegals, or as they called it on Fox News, the bad hombres in LA where he lives. He did an interview with Jesse Waters about this. I don't know whose idea this was. I'm guessing that ICE probably reached out to him because he was commenting on the new Superman movie with the media. He did an interview with TMZ about the politicization of David Corenswet's Superman portrayal and how James Gunn was calling it an immigrant story. So this is his way of pushing back on that rhetoric and, you know, reclaiming Superman as an American hero, not as an immigrant story.
Olivia, I don't know if you're watching still, but if so, like, should I sign up for...
Are they just gonna recruit anybody now? Like,
there was some really funny videos where they were like, look at how short everybody that's getting deported is. So maybe I can be the short person that can help deport the short people.
Well, let's take a look at Dean Cain's interview with Jesse Waters.
Here we go.
Oh, Dean Cain joins me now. All right, so this is kind of a big deal for you and your career. What are you going to be doing at ICE?
Well, let me go back a minute here, Jesse. This is all your fault, by the way.
Yeah?
I'll explain why.
Why?
Because I put out a recruitment video yesterday. I'm actually a deputy sheriff, a sworn deputy sheriff, and a reserve police officer. I wasn't part of ICE. But once I put that out there and you put a little blurb on your show, it went crazy. So now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. So they'll have 80,001 recruits for their 10,000 positions.
Well, they can't have a better guy than Dean Cain.
Well, because they removed the age limits. You can be 80. I have no idea what the actual. If they soften the age limits. I think he's 59. I think I saw. If you could look it up.
Are you going to be hopping out of ICE fans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do.
Yeah, he's 59.
If that's what it takes, absolutely. I somehow doubt I'll be in that position, but I would be there in a heartbeat. These brave men and women need someone to stand up for them. So rarely, these days are we seeing that. Someone like Daniel Penny stands up, he gets vilified. Dan Bongino steps up, gives up $5 million a year, and goes and takes his position at the FBI. This is the kind of thing where people have to step up. I'm stepping up. Hopefully, a whole bunch of other former officers, former ICE agents will step up, and we'll meet those recruitment goals immediately, and we'll help protect this country.
He went on to say, we have a broken immigration system. Congress needs to fix it. But in the interim, Trump ran on this. He's delivering on this. This is what people voted for. It's what I voted for, and he's going to see it through, and I'll do my part to help make sure it happens.
I would be remiss if I didn't dunk on this at least a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because every time that I see Kristi Noem with a plate carrier on, holding her rifle, and you call her DHS Barbie.
Ooh, we're scared.
Now, obviously, it's very different. Dean Cain is sworn in as a reserve police officer, I believe in Idaho, is what I read. Okay. And he's in very good shape. Despite being I think he's 5'11", he's the shortest Superman. He's still in very, very good shape and can probably do the job very, very well. But stuff like this always reeks of publicity stuff.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression that he lived in LA and that's why it mattered to him. But it says that he currently lives in like a neighborhood of Vegas.
Okay.
So yeah, he has a home there as of 2023. Yeah. He moved to Vegas from California.
I will always,
for the taxes.
I will always love Dean Cain because he loves to get into just the pettiest back and forths on X with people, and he will back and forth and go after people, and he has strong beliefs that go against most of what Hollywood finds acceptable, and he's been doing that for a long time. We can talk about the vibe shift that we were just discussing before, but he held on to these beliefs for a very, very long time. And he's continued to work. He's had consistent work the whole time, but he probably would have, had access to more or bigger roles if he did not stand true for what he believed in politically.
A lot of people were not speaking out on the issues that mattered to them prior to that becoming safe. And it's still not entirely acceptable, but we live in an age where Sydney Sweeney can be a registered Republican because of, like, Dean Cain walked so that Sydney Sweeney could run in a certain sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of petty back and forths, John Leguizamo threw his hat in the ring. He's wearing a very large hat.
No, it's not a very large hat. It's just sideways.
Oh, it must be the focal length here.
Yes.
But he's wearing this sideways snapback in an Instagram video, calling out Dean Cain, and he said, "I got one word for you, loser."
What kind of loser volunteers to be an ICE officer? What a moron. Dean Cain, your pronouns are has been.
Got him. My favorite part of this is Brian Krasenstein says that he totally destroyed Dean Cain. Can we do away with the hyperbole? I'm not even saying that, that John Leguizamo can't win in some Twitter beef. Can we do away with the absolute hyperbole of all of
Here's
this?
some of the comments. He's Timu Superman.
My favorite part
He's
about...
such a pick-me girl.
My favorite part about John Leguizamo is he's one of those guys who said so many insane things that I can't remember any of them. They all it's kind of like Wendell Pierce and some of these other actors where I know they've said stupid stuff, but I like their work, so it doesn't matter. It's never affected me. I will always love him in Super Mario Brothers, and I will always love him in the John Wick movies. That's fine. It's fine. But has and been, like, that's friendly fire on your own side.
Or never was.
Yeah.
I think one of the
And
comments,
Dean Cain responded. He said, "I like John as an actor. Very talented."
How magnanimous of Dean Cain.
Yes.
I think one of the comments that we dragged John Leguizamo for maybe a couple of years ago was him claiming that Latino actors have to play villains.
Yes. And that was like
because
right
they're
as
stereotyped.
And that was like right as Violent Night came out, where he did in fact play a villain.
Yeah, so it's like, do you think that it's a demeaning thing to play a villain?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've said that to you in the
Or-
past, that they are very conscious about the race they cast for good guys and bad guys, and that is something that they think about. Like
Right.
back in the day, I think one of the reasons that nobody ever thought about white guys being the villains in all the movies is because white people played the majority of the roles in all the movies and all the television shows. But then what people felt is like as movies got more diverse, the bad guys did not diversify in the same way.
And he also is constantly talking about how Latino actors are underrepresented in Hollywood, which, if you look at the numbers, is actually true if we're talking about matching the demographics of the United States, but
Yeah.
he is a perpetual victim.
So this person, Marlo Stern, says Dean Cain's Japanese grandparents were imprisoned in an internment camp in Idaho. Dean Cain says, "Yes, I love this country despite its past mistakes." How can you not love an evolved king?
Asian King. He also, last year, this was, I think, the last time that we talked about John Leguizamo, he put an ad in the New York Times print paper, a full page that said, "America is better when it's inclusive. It's more profitable. It's more creative. Let's not give up. I'm still woke. Are you?" And it was an ad that was urging the Emmy voters to support non-white artists and promote equity in award nominations.
Yeah, equity should be nowhere near the idea of winning something.
So he's proudly woke, and he wants you to be woke too. In fact, I think we didn't get to this. This was only last month in an interview he did with Bill Maher. He stated, "There's no ultra woke. They're not woke enough for me," leaving Bill Maher visibly stunned, underscoring Leguizamo's self-identification with progressive causes and his belief that current efforts towards inclusion remain insufficient.
Yeah.
It will never be sufficient for John Leguizamo.
John Oliver also got involved and said that there's no need for Dean Cain to wear a mask as an ICE agent because there's effing zero chance anybody will recognize him. They're so mad. They're so upset.
What has he been in since?
He
Superman.
directs a lot. So my favorite thing that he's been in has nothing to do with Superman. He played Sam's crazy billionaire boyfriend in the show Las Vegas. Or I'm sorry, ex-husband, who is basically a stalker, and it's the most early 2000s thing ever where if you saw it now, he'd be coded as like kind of evil. But in the show, it's like, aw, shucks. He shows up everywhere she is. Aw, shucks. He's so obsessed with her. He's definitely creepy, and he ends up being like a good guy in the show, and I love that. Did God's Not Dead, things like that. You know,
He did. He
in
cannot
a
be
lot
forgiven for
in
that.
a lot of religious films and stuff like that.
Dean Cain, I will never
like,
forgive you for God's Not Dead. That was a terrible movie.
He's he works in a lot of stuff, and he's kind of like Kevin Sorbo. They're always working. It doesn't like the difference is they're not working on the biggest budget movies, but that's not the point. Most people in Hollywood, any working actor will tell you that if you can go to the front of their IMDb page and the top credits before it hits see all only goes to next year or to last year, they're working a lot, and that's the mark of a successful actor.
It sounds like his heart's in the right place.
I agree.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.